I started thinking of sitting down with you, one of the things we've been seeing, and I've written about it. Locuz has been writing about it. Is a lot of action which is happening on ransomware in the market, right? Like you said, maybe 7-8 years back there was less chat about it, but now it's in the mainstream. Everybody's talking about it. There is no CIO CISO event where there is no chat. There is chat about ransomware, right? Everybody is talking about it. Recently, even White House came out and said, you know what, not just federal organizations, but private companies also must take action, protect themselves, right? There is legislation coming. There's so much happening. So I wanted to really double down on the topic of ransomware and pick on your experiences.
So as you pointed out, ransomware is a common occurrence. Every day there are probably more than 10,000 cases of ransomware are happening each and every day. And some we hear about a lot, we don't hear about it as well, because people just go pay and go move on their life. And they get also ransomware again and again, because now even one other interesting thing I would like to share, that somebody will ransomware and then they have access to your organization. They sell that access to the another party to go and ransom you again with the another set of the ransomware. So those things are also happening as well. Very much we see in the market as well. And one of the things we were talking about is ransomware is something people should be preparing that, hey, that attack can happen, but if I am able to stop it into early steps and stages, I does not have to worry about it. So compromising a credential, getting through your firewall, gateways, those things you should assume that you want to have those hygiene better, but things are going to happen. Your credential can be compromised from social media and all that in there. So you have to assume that. And somebody just coming to you and saying, hey, I'll give you multi-factor and that is going to solve like a silver bullet. That's not the case as well. So you have to imagine that it's getting you better and better, making it harder. You are not an easy target anymore, but still you have to be prepared with having that continuous real-time monitoring and then detecting the threats before it's too late and stopping it. So that is something you have to be prepared. And that's where what we have seen is, as I mentioned, we have around 6,000 deployment, and we have seen that ransomware people have tried it out into multiple hundreds of them. But if those detections happen when somebody is compromising somebody's credential or after credentials, they are trying to do certain things where doing the privilege escalation, creating a new set of credential, doing some lateral movement, your horizontal and vertical, like scanning, asset discovery, going to some command and control center. If you pull this whole story together, all of these things have to happen before somebody can have a successful ransomware attack on you. And if you are able to detect those, pull those together and detect those before it got to the point where data is exfiltrated, you are in a good shape. And you have closed the door. The key point is not only detecting, but also is stopping it and making your hygiene better and better, knowing what are your weakest links are, so you are able to improve them and make it better for the future. So that way it's not easier for even to get into your organizations as well. So those things are pretty critical. And one of the other things we were talking earlier, that the ransomware is just something where it's not that you get ransomware once you pay and you are off to it, because that is also getting exploited again and again. And sometimes the exploit of one attack, successful attack, is multiple fold, because one thing is just giving you key to decrypt your stuff in there. Another thing is also they have already stolen the data. Data is kept somewhere. So now they start leaking it and now you have to pay for that. So you have to always keep in mind, if you can have a prevention, it's a better that don't get into the point where you have been ransomware. Make sure that you have a solution which detects an early step and stops it. That is much more cost effective a lot of peace of mind than just paying the ransomware. But because ransomware payment is only probably 15% of the total cost, your operation going down, and then you have to recover for it, all the incident response and investigation, all the regulatory filing, that is much more damaging. And the brand damage is also another significant cost, which you cannot put a money to it easily for that. So something just have to be kept in mind.
Absolutely, and very well said. I think I've even written about it that the costs of breach can be extremely high, right? The trust is eroded with the customers. You have to redo your entire security and IT posture, right? There is so much of cost, and plus just paying ransomware doesn't guarantee anything. There were, I think, a few incidents recently where the company paid the ransom and then they also discovered that data was still being sold on the dark web, right? And you cannot really do much about it after a certain point in time.